Today we're going to make a little forest scene on this. Hi, I'm Myra with Boutique Paint, and I'm starting out with the Hidden Hollow mold, and we're also using some of the cute little mushrooms from Toadstool. And I mixed these with resin, and I painted them with the mica powders on the inside. And if you want to know how to do that, I've got other videos that I'll link below on how to do that. But I also just put the wire in them to help us poke those into the foam when the time comes. Well, let's pull this, and you can see, you can also paint these instead of doing it this way, but I knew this would be a little bit faster than hand painting all of that. Do it either way you'd like. I'll pull some of our little mushrooms here. And I might add some little white dots to this guy just because we can. But I'm going to start with this foam. And it was a wreath. I've already did one cut. But basically what I'm wanting is a partial circle. I don't want the full circle. But you can do the full circle. Just figure out what you want yours to look like. And you can just easily cut right through this. And then you can use this one as a small one. And then I've got, these are just leftover pieces of moss that are on a backing, and you can get this from a craft store. I had just pieces of it, so we're going to use the pieces, and we're just going to glue it onto this. So I'm just using just white glue. If you were wanting to use hot glue, test it out first on the part that you cut off or on the back side. The reason being is a lot of times with foam, let's move that, with foam, the hot glue will melt it and with the heat, and it will just kind of pucker and do all kinds of weird stuff. I don't know if that would hinder this process at all. It may not, but just so you're aware. That's why I'm going to go ahead and just use the white glue. And I'm just going to kind of wrap this around this. And these come in like sheets. This is just stuff I had left over, so that's what I'm going to use. And if you happen to be in an area that you might have moss in your backyard, you could always go in your backyard and just pluck some off the ground. Let's see, I don't know if I got it. I didn't get clear up here. And also you can just use a little bit of hot glue just to hold it while this is drying too. Or you can also put rubber bands around it to hold it, or pins in there. Let's grab another piece. This one I think I want to cut. So I'm just going to grab some scissors, and you just cut this like you would fabric. Take a little bit of hot glue. I'm not too worried about it because it's on the back. And different foams react differently to hot glue. So this is a very dense foam, and it seems to not be melting in this case. But if you do get the white styrofoam ones, they will melt with hot glue. This is pretty dense. So basically I have the regular glue, regular white glue, and I'm just adding a little bit of hot glue just to kind of hold it. And definitely have something down because it makes a mess. Afterwards, you might be able to spray it with a little bit of a sealant of some sort to kind of hold the moss in place. So every time you move it, it wouldn't make too big of a mess. So if you have any little bald spots, you will find that some of this stuff is going to fall off with it when you're working with it. So just do a dollop and put a little extra on those spots, but you will also be covering this up with other items, so don't worry about it too much. Now that we got our space cleaned up, mostly, I want to go ahead and add some of our elements, and so I'm going to do the door first, and I do want to put a little bit of glue, so I'm just going to dip it into the glue here. And then I'm going to, because I put the wires on there, I should be able to just push that in. And then I want to add, I'm getting moss absolutely everywhere. So then we want to add some of our mushrooms. So I'm going to add one right here since this is up a little higher, just to kind of cover that. Oh, get some glue on there. I'm going to push it in. You can use toothpicks here instead of wire if you don't have wire. That works too. And I'm just going to kind of set these in here. This wire is a little longer than I want, so I'm going to go ahead and trim it. The nice thing, though, about the wire is you can kind of move it around if you need to. Let's see. Let's put this, I think, right there. The nice thing about this is it kind of makes it a 3D feel. Now what I want to do is I want to add some other elements. I picked up a few other items at the dollar store. I got this, and I got some flowers, and I got some ferns. But because of scale, we want to make sure that we're not using huge flowers necessarily with this. So I'm just going to trim this fern. And like I said, I got these at the dollar store. I'm going to turn my hot glue gun back on, but I'm just going to do the ends of this fern. And you can either use your wire cutters or you can use scissors. Just kind of cut. I got this one. And so I'm just going to pull a couple pieces off these. These just kind of pull apart on this. And I'll set that aside. And then I'm just going to use some of these small flowers. And these ones, I don't know if they pull apart too. No, it doesn't look like it. But you could also just take the plastic, cut it at the plastic before it goes into the wire. So we can just kind of sprinkle these around. So then you can just kind of add these any old which way, just kind of building this whole thing up. And I will use glue gun, a glue gun. And just kind of add, cover up, you know, glue globs with other pieces. So just build this up. Just keep adding elements till you get it the way you think you want it. This one I think I want coming kind of down into the frame here. And then I'll add a couple more flowers. Let's see, do a dark one. So I think I want to add a little bit of different moss here. I have this stuff, and I believe this came from the dollar store also. If you don't want to pick up a different type of moss, you can just take like a bit of, you know, a little scrap and just kind of build it up a little bit like that. We're just kind of wanting to cover up and just add different dimensions to this. I think I'll tuck that kind of under the door a little bit to help get rid of that gap under the door. And you can lay this out ahead of time so you can kind of get a feel for it. Lay it out, take a picture of it. That way you can see, sometimes just taking a picture of something while you're doing it so you can look at the picture. I don't know what it is that makes the difference, but it does. But whatever works for you. Let's see, let's add a couple more ferns up here. We don't really want to cover our mushrooms. So on the back, I went ahead and just took a piece of twine and hot glued it to it. I will finish off the back as soon as I can get to a craft store and get some more sheets of the moss, because this is quite ugly the way it is. Not that you'd see it, but it's been a crazy week. It is a crazy week. We have this spring IOD 2024 release coming out tomorrow, and at our shop we have our spring event. So I'm just glad that I was able to finally do this particular project because I've been looking forward to it for quite a while. I thought it would be a fun spring project. If you have any questions, you can go to our website at www.boutiquepaint.com, and thank you so much for joining me. Bye.